Hello everyone, how are we all doing? So this is our second Preptober stream, and in today's stream we're going to be looking a little bit more into the shifter race that we are making. So for those of you who aren't here, who weren't here last time, I'm taking the fangsgiving story that we worked a little bit on last year, and we're making it into a serialized novel format. So that's going to be exciting. And we're working on a book zero, like a kind of law book to do my research in, to get things sorted, and just in general, kind of like get all the codex references and stuff before we jump into the actual writing, you know? Um, Hello, Ramtuff. Lovely to have you, or Ramstuff. Lovely to have you here. We went over these bits. The document is in the description already, um, and you can see kind of what I'm deciding to do. I've also included for you since the last session the general purpose prompt with no context, with no codex, and with the entire codex as context, because some of you were interested in seeing that. Um, this session we're going to look at developing shifters. I did a little bit of like asking GPT questions or Claude or whatever. I'm not fully sure if I'll use those. I think I'm going to start with the research that we've got and then develop that. So something that's a change from last time is that in the original iteration, I had it where they were actual wolves. So she was actually raised by a pack of wolves. Whereas in this iteration, these are all shifters, so humans that have decided to be wolves forever. They're just like, yeah, nah, giving up the human life. So a bit different in terms of mentality. Yes, Emery, it does feel like that. Just these 3 days. Unfortunately, there's not a stream on Saturday because I have to socialize. I joke, I joke. I have to do in-person stuff. But yeah, I mean, and it's a warm up for November where I'm going to be streaming every day writing, so that's going to be crazy. But yeah. So I think what is probably best is if I go into my Novelcrafter interface. We have another update, guys. This is just some like bug fixes from the previous update. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, that. And if we go into the plan interface, we can see that I started doing some research on setting, and we decided 11th century France. We went to the forests and had a look at there and what kind of like animals were there, prey, the general vibes. We then looked at shifters in fiction and pack dynamics in wolves and other pack animals, including like lions, wild dogs, orcas. And then finally, we started doing research on cults for our like antagonists. So we came up with L'Ordre de Feu, the Order of the Purifying Flame. Okay, I'm just going to call it the English translation because, you know, let's be real. I've never studied French. I was a German and Polish studier, so we checked, and that word isn't the swear word. So I'll just not say it. It's fine. The ember of the vines. We'll just work around that. It's fine. We looked at the recruitment, potential members that could be in the particular ember that is pursuing red, and we had like a good solid foundation. And what I wanted to take from that into this session is like, who are the pack? Not necessarily the characters, like each individual character, but more like, okay, well, they were once human, they've eschewed human life, and I want to see how this hybrid works, what kind of life they would live, kind of get more of the everyday life aspect of that sorted, you know? I think that's probably like a good next step. And now we've got all the lovely dovely like structure bits. Like I've been doing some nice little structuring. Oh, you're very welcome, Jay Fedber. I'll just remind me if I use a new prompt, I will put it up on there because like sharing is caring, y'all. So we know from last time. Oh, hello, Jen. Lovely to have you here. Yeah, just pop in, say things when you've got things to say. It's fine if not. We're great. We're great background listening. I'm just like going to be rambling on for 2 hours, so it'll be fun. Okay, so yeah. So we were saying it's hierarchical, but not quite to the same extent as a wolf pack is. It's led by an alpha pair, and there's kind of secondary leadership roles. There's a core group. Obviously, this is more for an animal rather than an animal human hybrid. So we need to kind of like tweak things. So I think that's probably one of the first things we'll go on to. But this is kind of like our basis. There are hunters, guardians. I wasn't sure. So I guess, kind of like ethical, philosophical question, I was kind of like, well, if these are shifters, they're humans, but they're living as wolves as their other form for their entire life. Part of me was like, would there be pups to raise? Because I guess they're not going out changing anyone, but on the other hand, they are choosing one side of their nature over another. And so how would they deal with like children and puberty, and would puberty be different if they were always in wolf form? And I wasn't sure whether this was an issue that I wanted to look into in medieval Europe. It wasn't really something I'd considered, but it does make sense if it's like a fully functioning like mini society with like this ecosystem within the forest, that they would have children, and like I guess there's no reason they shouldn't do. And maybe they have children, and if the children want to go off and be humans, they can do. It's something I've been thinking about. I've been like, I don't know how to deal with pups. Um yeah. Because like some animals in like when we were looking at the pack mentality, the children stay with their mothers like their entire lives, or like the sons stay with the mothers, and then the women will go off and make their own packs. So hard to know. Not entirely sure. Would love some opinions if anyone has any. Um, Hunting, we got, yeah, they'll probably use human like techniques as well. They can probably psychically communicate as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go actions, chat with scene, pin. I'm then going to select general purpose, no codex. Sonnet. I don't know. Jen says, my thinking is depending on the story. In a cinematic way, you can have an appearance of a little guy, but if it's part of the story, it's likely worth a chat. Yeah, it's like, I don't think this whole like, it won't become a plot line in the story, but like, I think if Red is living within the pack, it needs to be acknowledged if there are pups around, because I think also the wolves would be more protective then. And I think that's probably a good thing, because then that's, if there are a young around and they're trying to protect it, it's not just themselves, it's they're looking after others. It raises the stakes, I guess. Hmm. Um yeah, what the hell, I'll use Sonnet. Okay. Um hmm. Oh, that's true. See, I hadn't even thought of what if they have actual wolf pups. I guess maybe they could have adopted some real wolf pups. I was thinking more they were if everyone in the pack is a shifter and two shifters have a child or have a litter of children, would they raise them as wolves or would they raise them as shifters? That because most of the pack live full time as wolves. They don't take on their human forms. That's kind of the whole thing. They've kind of abandoned humanness. It's that whole connection thing. It seems to be a big thing of like connection in my stories at the moment. I don't know where that is. Um, I think they would see true wolf pups much more favorably than they would see humans because they're like, well, wolves are living on their nature and they're not harming each other or destroying like the infrastructure, whereas like humans are going around mining and deforestation and stuff. Yeah, that's another question that I'd have to look at. I would assume that in this case, if their essence is as much like it is not that they are a human that can shift into a wolf form, it is that they are both simultaneously. And so if they are both, then why couldn't they be either or? So I'm going to say that maybe their pregnancies depend on which form they're in. So, like, if they're in wolf form, they will have pregnancy as long as a wolf does, and it kind of goes that way. And they're more likely to have, I guess, larger litters. Um, but they would still be shifter hybrid children, like shifter children. They wouldn't be wolf children, if that makes sense. Yeah, I feel like they because these particular shifters have chosen so much to be the wolf, they've kind of it is very rare that they would go back into human form, which is why red it's like an unspoken thing. Which is why Red is so freaked out when she transforms back into a human and she's like, "Wait, what is going on?" Because she just doesn't see sh- shifters. Um, yeah, sort of like in Black Panther: The Secret Society. If one makes it out, it could be a dynamic story. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that. Um, some ideas for my shifter species. This and like other packs would be different. It's just um this is because I'm doing the no codex. It's not going to show up. I'm just putting the name there so it can call it. Okay, so I've been researching pack dynamics and come up with some ideas for my shifter species. See attached. This particular pack for my story, the Wild Wind Pack, are shifters that have shunned human society and live as wolves 100% of the time. They have families and a mini society, all as wolves, and will protect wolf clubs if standard wolves are killed by humans. Um, how would having some kind of human mentality uh, influence life? I mean, this is probably going to give me like a huge blurt of stuff, but I think it's kind of a good way to start. Um, let's have a look. Oh. Okay, so then let's begin to um, conceptualize a bio for this shifter species. Let's first start by I guess like we'd start by making a list of factors that we would need to consider for this story. For our story. Yeah. So I'm going to do this stepwise. I'm going to get the questions and then I can take that and you know what's great because we have the sub points. I can like do 1. Please help further develop them based on the starting points that I am giving you. 1. Origin. How did the species come to be? Okay, guys, we need to have a think. How did the species come to be? And is there a mythical or scientific explanation? I'm not entirely sure what I want for this, so if anyone wants to spitball ideas at me, please do. This is kind of how I do everything, actually. Partly answering things. Um, okay, how does the transformation occur? Okay. Is it painful, instantaneous, gradual? I'm gonna say it is painful, but not excruciating. Some type of evolutionary need, maybe tools, or you can move more closely to a spiritual, magical evolution splitting off from mythology. Yeah. Hmm. And I guess if we're having magic is actually a thing in this, I'm going to say it's pagan descendants, and that's why the church, this order is so anti-shifter. Oh yeah, the Roman. Um. Oh, okay. So an ancient pagan goddess who merged the spirits of a worthy wolf and human who two shifters came from this, Romulus and Remus. So the founders of Rome um, actually were two shifters who came from the spiritual merging of a wolf and a human. Mythical sea above. So I'm also including instructions for the AI, kind of like saying, oh, you can do this, that, um, to help give it ideas. Yeah, actually, it is uncomfortable. Can they partially transform? Nope. Um, Physical characteristics. How do they differ from regular wolves? Okay. Um, Colorings are often similar. Um, i.e., fur and eyes. I mean, I feel like that's very like typical, but also it kind of works. Like you, and besides, red as a redhead wolf is just so adorable. Don't you all agree? Are there any identifying marks that distinguish them from regular wolves? Okay. I don't know. I'm kind of erring to the side of there isn't actually anything that differentiates them. in the sense of like when they are human, there is nothing that differentiates them from other humans, and when they are in wolf form, there is nothing physical that differentiates them from other wolves, um, other than their lifespan. And so it's kind of more a unless you believe that shifters exist, it just looks like they're going around killing wolf packs, which again was being done at the time, so it's not unusual and wolves were a nuisance. But they're like, yeah, sure, they're shifter magic. Cool. Can I not pay tax? um, that kind of vibe, I think. What do you guys have any thoughts on this? Yeah. Oh, okay. Is there a reason behind shorter tails, Corey? Is that more a because humans don't have tails? Yeah, humans have shorter tails. Okay, yeah. Um, Slightly shorter tails, but who goes up to a wolf with a measuring stick? I don't want to think about shifters reproducing with regular wolves because that feels a bit. I'm going to say they can only reproduce with other shifters. What are their weaknesses? So, do we have them? Okay, so okay, yeah. So any magic that would impact a wolf would also impact these guys. I'm loving having bullet points. Have you guys been doing much with the bullet points and other formatting options? How many questions were there? God. Oh my. Okay. We can do this, guys. I might just put on my headphones as well. Um, oh yeah, we were here. I'm gonna make this a bit bigger so we can all see it a bit more. It's like why are we doing this on half the screen? Um, you know, cultural aspects. Do they have their own language, traditions, or rituals? Do you ever have with world building where you're like, all these questions are cool, but I have literally no idea, and so I don't know what to put? Because I got that right now for a lot of these. Psychological aspects. How does the dual nature affect their mentality? Um, same injury in both forms. Interaction with other supernatural entities. Are there other supernatural beings in this world? I'm just gonna say no for my own. There might be some later, but I just do not need to know about this. That for now. Okay. So what question did I? 12. Okay. I think that's everything. Um, are any of you guys making book zeros? I know after the first live stream, a few of you were. Uh, Corey, I think we've got a bug to report if Space isn't here. After 9 bullet points, it goes a little bit crass. Yeah, that's fine. I'll zoom up if you need me to. If you let me know, Corey, if you want me to scroll up so you can take a screenshot. Yeah, no, I saw you post on Slack, which was why I was kind of like, bum 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 ba dum. Okay, that's fine. I just thought I'd point it out. Hey, good looking, how's about a date? Stop a biblioteca. Sweet. Up around date. Hey, good looking, what's I gotta do? Say, good looking, such a whole night through. I've been looking for you. Ooh, my Portal fantasy novel has potential, so I'm interested to see how you build the world in the Codex. Okay, yeah, no, I'm going to be doing a lot of Codex building probably in the next few sessions. I'm very excited. Um, it's just getting all the individual bits first, you know. It's like, oh, there's so much. But yeah, Portal fantasy novels are great. What worlds, what portals are they going into? It's weird because I always look away from the camera when talking to people because the chat's there and the camera's there. So it's weird. I mean, it's not weird. It's totally normal, but it feels like I'm not looking at you when I'm talking to you when I am. Um, A backstage theatre world. The first novel is in the 1600s, but I'd like to do it in other time periods. Oh, nice. No, that would be so cool. Like Elizabethan era in, well, I guess it's more Carolean era, but great time period. Jacobean and Carolean, I guess. But yeah, great era, like Shakespeare vibes and all that. Hey, using the information with brainstorm plus any other extrapolation. We saw eye to eye on all that music stuff, not on fluff. Mm. Yeah. Oh God, Cromwell. I mean, fun fact, but I live fairly near to where the last battle um in the Civil War happened. So, it's a lot of random bits of history around here. I mean, this is Britain. There's history literally everywhere, but you know what I mean. um okay. So I'm going to take this, copy, paste, minimize this. Or like not minimize, but just hide it. But guys, isn't this beautiful? All the headings transfer over. Oh my god, yeah, there would be so many ghosts like in my village. Like, yeah. Okay. Well, let's start with adding U's everywhere. Um I kind of now like the idea that this story ties in with the Greek universe that my other stories are in. They weren't named after them, they were them. Oh, I like that. During the shift, the shifter is vulnerable. I guess like they um Physically, shifters in wolf are indistinguishable from regular wolves, save from slightly shorter tails. However, keen observers might notice subtle behavior differences during their retained human instincts. In human form, shifters retain the enhanced senses of wolf, giving them advantage in perception and awareness. They have advantage on their perception checks. Apparently, we have additional O's in words too. Did not know that. Okay. Let's go. Though they deteriorate at a slower rate. Uh, Corey, you're great. The additional O's in words are because wolves howl. So what are the additional U's for? Is that just because a U looks like a cup of tea? And that's why we put U's in all the words? Because if so, headcanon accepted. Where will this be posted when complete? Absolutely no idea. I mean, I am totally happy to just share this like with like people on stream. Um I I mean, I'd love to publish it somewhere online. It just all depends if I've got time to finish it, you know what I mean? But regardless, I'll stick drafts up. I can keep you updated with every day of my writing process in November. That is true. You can't spell a copper without you. Although that's an interesting thing. I mean, copper first of all is a very northern word, but even the word cup, um, despite my quite posh accent, you can tell that I'm northern because I say us, so like bus, cup. Whereas like if you're from the south of England, you would say bass or cup, and it would be more an ah, like an ah sound than an like northerners are more guttural rather than guttural. Guttural. You know, if I was to talk very posh and do an RP BBC voice from the 1960s, then I would sound like this. I mean, you are kind of from. I mean, all of US is, well, apart from Alaska, is further south than the UK. So, you know, basically. Very fair. I just happen to be creating an OC that is a shifter-like race with a speciality in illusion magic to constantly have layers of visual distortion. Oh, that is cool. So, like, do they hide their shifter form then? Or is it like distractions? How does it work? Oh, thank you. You enjoy your day too, 12-footer. However, they both require a balance of meat and plant. Um, I like this. I like the idea of like maybe some packs do, but then this like Wild Wind pack also doesn't. Um, I like the idea of a ritual hunt. Ooh, maybe that's what red is doing when. So this, okay, I'm gonna. No, you're great. I'm just putting a little note to self in the notes. And then this would be law. I'll share before I leave that yes, it's so they can incorporate with societies wherever they go without fear of judgment or concern for their appearance, and then potentially even changing what their true shifted form looks like. That would cause a lot of miscommunication, I can imagine, if they couldn't see through the illusion magic and like you didn't think a person was who they were. Okay. So now I want to do a little bit on like wolf. Uh how might pack of hear it ding 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 ding. The only pay when alone. But where is he now? Getting cash from the cow while the cow's in the can. All puking sick. You take your. Okay. I like the idea of the shifters having a little base camp near the mountain, or like one of their camps is there. So this is great. Please now condense this to provide me with a 4-paragraph description of general shifted dens. Then I would like you to give me a description of the whirlwind packs den in the mountain that the forest surrounds. In one of. High the bright light of the moon, hang your dresses, ugly dresses. No one likes maroon. Wipe off all that stupid lipstick. Return the earrings to their case. Won't make any difference. It's still the same old face. Okay, let's see if I can condense this further. Okay. 1700. Let's have a look at how it described the wild wind. So you're saying here soft moss and shed fur, and now I'm just imagining just hair everywhere. Like, you know, when a dog just sheds on everything. Cruel. No, I like this. So I'm going to pop this also into my document. So this is like the Wildwood pack. Some general stuff, some also that are a bit more like, you know, big. Oh, my neck just clicked. Something awful then. Okay. What do I want to do next? Does anyone have any thoughts, opinions on what we should start brainstorming next? I will. 1 minute. Let me. I'll include some general Wildwind pack stuff. There's a Clean marine. Okay. Uh, uh, So I'd now like to investigate the consequences of this pack living in wolf form permanently. Would this mean that they would this mean that they never or they find it harder to transform? Um would they have different mentalities to other shifters? New scene. Simplify, do or die. Wow, it's going on for a while. So let's just copy this all and then I can. Okay, I like this. The one I'm reading here makes sense to me. Okay, that's interesting that they don't rely on telepathy as much. Makes it harder for storytelling, but if it's not done as much and you make it clear that they're kind of communicating through yips or I don't know. Could be an interesting route to take. I like all that as well. Okay. Look at her. She looks so Hold. Okay, so we have this. We have an idea of the den. We have an idea of the general shifter stuff. Democratic elements. Yep. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I mean, it's tragic, but I'm going to get rid of these guys because these were all act wolves. I think it shows how long it's been since I made this that I have tags for wolf pack, but we didn't have codex categories then. And so there is no like um pack group, which I totally would have now. Great. Let's start brainstorming the members of the Wildwind pack. We know about Red, of course, but who else might be there? Let's start. Okay, so now I'm going to start. I guess like they won't necessarily be it won't necessarily be everything that I will need for codex entries, but this is to kind of get an idea. I don't like the idea of alpha, beta, omega, so instantly. Oh, another question is, would shifters eschew their birth names, or would they? Hmm. Anyone got any thoughts? I like Windrush, but we have the Windrush generation. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's likely they spend most of the time in non-human form. Yeah, physical characteristics. Braveheart. Pathfinder. I like Vigilance actually as a name. Like, just Vigil. Long tail is ironic because they have a tail that's actual wolf length. One, two, three, four. Oh, I've got loads beginning with S, which is a bit annoying. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Oh, don't worry. Oh God, I feel so sorry for you. I hope that you managed to get things sorted with Google that you could, and that they weren't too egregious. I mean, I also feel sorry for everyone who works customer service, but I feel sorry for you for having to talk to people and needing to go to customer service because that's also a very shitty situation. Um, I, I hope their support is good and efficient. Okay, I mean, I love the idea of Pebblefoot, but absolutely going to kill him off. Oh my god, Sunspot sounds adorable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Red. Although, let's call him. Um, yeah, I ended up having to downgrade. Oh, was this the? Oh, is this the? Yeah, you're using your Gemini Pro account. So apparently, it doesn't matter if you're using the free or paid. You still get limits. That's annoying. Like, surely if you pay, you should get a higher limit. Is it do they get a higher limit or is it just literally like everything? I was really annoyed with I had the same issue with GPT that I got Chat GPT so I could use the Scene Doctor some more, but my prompts were too big and it refused to use them on O1 preview, which was very annoying. I mean, I ended up using Dali quite a bit, so it was all right. Like I'm getting my money's worth, but yeah, that was frustrating. Okay, what name should we give Lona? There's a better name. Thing changes overnight, some kind of time. Hmm. Jaw. Um, Um, wolf names. I mean, I'm telling AI it's being rude. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Oh, call them guardians. They don't tell you what your limit is, so you could go in one day and your limit could be like 6 hours, and your limit is maybe an hour. Oh, it changes. Oh my god, that's so rude. Really? Oh, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. Yeah, get your money back. Like, you think they'd want you to use their services? Oh, I like that driftwood. Oh, blue ink sinks in like a ghost that won't wash off your skin. It still comes. Fight, sting. Watch them die, and you can't do a thing. They won't come back. I don't like the idea of I mean, also Guardian of Wisdom and Strength. Like, so I'm just gonna call them Guardians. Um, when you come back. There's a kilt. I mean, she's not a newcomer now. She's probably like a young adult. Maybe Red actually has something else, like as her name, like Red something. But I feel like I'm getting there with the story. Like I'm getting some ideas. I have an idea about um the first episode. I do like the kind of idea of Red Flame because then it's kind of like alluding to the cult, and she has this name that like is would be offensive to them, that she's named after their Okay, guys, I need your help to vote. Um, or red leaf. Red leaf, redstone? I feel like it needs to be something like, and then in Pebblefoot, it's okay, guys. Red storm, red flame, or red leaf, which should be Red's wolf shifter name. With fossils of the dead, love when you hear that fire. Think of it as my desire. Think of it as my desire for you. Red Storm. Is that because of the homage bit, Corey, and says like nice little bits of lore? I can kind of imagine your voice in my head being like, meaning is good, meaning is powerful. Yeah, flame is a bit too on the nose. I mean, I know that, but also, I had to resist the urge of calling the love interest Hunter for that reason because it was a bit on the nose. Okay. Well, if no one else has any thoughts, Red Storm it is. Which kind of was what I was thinking anyway. Fast approaching the witching hour, and suddenly Red Leaf is kind of cute. Red Storm is very Katnissy, but to be fair, I think Red probably is very Katnissy. She's a fighter. She's gonna, go out and do stuff, and she's probably just called Red most of the time because they'll all have nicknames. But yeah, Red Leaf is very cute. Maybe she was formerly known as Red Leaf. Like she was Red Leaf as a pup, and then suddenly it was like, oh no, she is Red Storm. She may be small, but she is mighty. While I prevail. Okay, what else do I want to look at? To be fair, I think the session might be coming to a close soon. It feels like I've got what I need or I want to do done. Because the pack is a big part of this. We already had a fair bit relating to the cult done. Um, yeah, good choice. Before I go, because I think I'm kind of ready. I think this is the point that is there anything else you can think of that I need to like think about for this pack? And if not, is there any questions you have for me about Novelcrafter, uh, my story, anything? I mean, I don't know any complex geometry, but I can answer some chemistry stuff if you had a real burning desire uh, to know it. I don't know. Some pretty coloured stuff. Well, it's a good thing to have a name that if you want your character to symbolize a certain thing, to have that name come close to that symbolization. Yeah, absolutely. Like it really helps keep everything kind of on track, and people then think, you know, uh, if you have like someone with a name that's like close to the thoughts, you're like, yes, you're like, you don't want to think of, I don't know, a Doris as being an assassin. It doesn't. I mean, it absolutely fits, but it doesn't fit. Yeah, Flame is also done. I knew it was overdone. I was kind of like, oh, but it's also kind of. But yeah, then I was like, no, that's just my head, my heart. Yeah, it's like a story Bible. So this will have, or it's like maybe not a story Bible, it's more research notes. So this will have a lot of stuff. So like the earlier pack dynamic stuff, this hybrid species stuff, these two I probably won't use. I don't need. Um, again, don't need any of that research. But this is from this book. I will pull all the data that I need to use to make my codex entries. Um, so it's kind of like a if I wanted to start like researching, I don't know what's in like a little provincial French town, I can do that in here, and I've kind of got all that research there. But I don't then need to kind of um have lots of research notes, say like in my snippets and stuff, which keeps things um a little bit easier to find. And because I can also search scenes, I can be like, okay, well, um, where is red mentioned? And you can see now, okay, well, these are the chapters that red's mentioned in. Or where are wolves mentioned? Or wolf? Like, and you can kind of like filter it a little bit more. Where are transformations mentioned? So we know shifters in fiction, pack dynamics is where transformations are mentioned. So it's just like a nice way of being able to filter things, see stuff a little bit more. Oh, you're very welcome. I think these are great. Like, it's just a nice way of because if you've got a series, you can kind of just keep it separate. Everything's there, and like series codexes mean that I mean like all the stuff would have been in a series codex anyway, so it doesn't hurt. And if something you want to be in a book codex, you just go into the book that you're eventually making and shift it into that. So it all works out. Yes. I hope you all have a great evening. I'm gonna go off and have a bit of a rest before dinner. And so I'm not going to be here on Saturday, but I will be here next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm going to be doing some mini streams. Um, like oh, not mini streams, some of these streams, finishing off the planning. Hopefully, I will get to codex entries in the next couple of sessions, and also the plot. So yeah, you're very welcome. It's been a pleasure to have you all here. And I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Bye.